All right, let's jump in and we'll get rolling. Take a quick look at the market here today. So here's ES. This is typically what I'm looking at from a day trading aspect if I was day trading. And really otherwise just some zero DTE stuff. Give me a second to extend this chart a bit as we move on. All right, so here's where we are on ES this morning. Futures down 35 points, nearing their lows of the session here as we go live in this trading. I've got a 1 hour, 15-minute, 3-minute chart, and then over on the right here is UVXY and the advanced decline SPX on a 3-minute cycle as well. So I can kind of see where things are going. Not sure why I grabbed that and moved it, but I'm being a little finicky here today. All right, so here's where we are. And if, let's just give a quick start off here. Zero DTE. Not a gigantic fan, although I was, and we traded a lot earlier in the year. I traded a lot more previous years on zero DTE, really trying to get away from that for the most part. But I think there are opportunities to trade, just like there are opportunities to trade either indexes, stocks, what have you, based on the same metrics. I am not a big, gamma guy and all that other stuff in volume. It works. And those that know how to do it better than me probably do better than I do. I'm going to stick to pretty simple charting for me when I go through it. And let's take a quick look at levels. So when I look at the 1-minute chart on ES overnight, you can see that we hit a low here around 1 a.m. or so. For me, I just draw a line across. That to me is a pivot point. That's the overnight low. It's the pivot point, 44.47-ish and change. I'll look at that on the 1 hour. And if you look at the 1 hour, I mean, it's pretty clear. I don't think there's any magic in here somewhere, but it's pretty clear that the 21, which is my green line, is below the 50, which is my, I don't know what you want to call pink, red, whatever, fuchsia color that you choose. And then you've got the yellow mustardy line, which is the 200 boring moving average. All right. Well, obviously you can see the 200 has been tipping over. So you've got a downtrend that they're all stacked down on the 1 hour. There would be really not a lot of reason to look for a bump or anything here unless you want to try to pick out some bottoms. But if you're trading zero DTE directional, then maybe you can identify some opportunities. But if you were getting into something at the open, well, overall, the downtrend has been down all night. You look at the 15-minute here, and you can see where that line comes across. We've run up to it. We crossed it briefly, broke back down. Now we're making another run to that line. That pivot point to me would be some resistance. It can flip to support later, but it's fairly much held up here as we go down. And you know what? I'm going to remove this confusing looking average line. I don't know why it's in there anyway. Okay, so let's look at the 15-minute. Now, what I did with the 15-minute, and again, this is just me. Maybe it's overcomplicating things a bit. I don't know. We'll see. We'll take a look at it. But if I'm going to do anything zero DTE, I prefer to just do directional because I don't think the markets go sideways for an entire session. They're going to go up. They're going to go down. My job on zero DTE, the way I'm trading it a little bit more now would be, I'm just looking for something to move in one direction or another on zero DTE. So if I was to get into something here at the open around 9:30, well, would you sell a call credit spread or would you sell a put credit spread? I'll wait a little bit till the market opens before I make that call. So I'll hop into maybe the 3-minute here and take a look. And if we look at 9:30 here, the market was still heading down, but sideways a bit. And RSI was oversold. If we look over here on the 15-minute, RSI was oversold. If we look at the 1 hour, RSI was oversold. So overall, yeah, I can share those chart settings. I've showed them before, but I can do that again. So yeah, give them some time and I'll post them into the Discord chat. I'll post them in the zero DTE room. But I set this up as just a day trading type of chart where I'm looking at the 1 hour to 15 minute and the 3 minute and a few other things here. As UVXY drops, obviously that is bullish. If it's rising, that is obviously bearish. But I'm also looking to see, and maybe on the MACD, are we getting any kind of a turnover or something here? Are we getting oversold extremes where we might reverse and see UVXY popping up? But as UVXY is dropping, you can see the market has been rallying since we started here. So we'll keep an eye on how things are going overall. But you were oversold on all 3 time frames heading into right around 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, you started to break through on the 3, then also on the 15 minute. And then it wasn't really till about 9 o'clock again, you started to break above on the 1 hour. So RSI telling you we may be oversold, looking for a bounce. I'm looking to see if I either get a squeeze or a MACD or a stochastic momentum reversal. Not there yet on the 1 hour. I did get it on the 15 minute. It told me here right around 9:15 that MACD was reversing. Okay, and we just closed something, so I'll share that with you guys in a bit. But MACD is reversing here, heading higher on the 15 minute. The 15 minute is my directional indicator. If the 15 minute reverses, I'm just looking for reversals. I need to get a couple yellows, at least 1 or 2 in a row. I didn't really get that yet, but stochastic momentum was moving higher. MACD's been moving higher. Pretty decent looking reversal opportunity for us at these lows of the day to pop in a put credit spread, and I did. So I put on a put credit spread this morning at 10:12, and that was the ding that you just heard at 10:41. We just closed it for a 50% winner. So I took 50% out on that trade, just giving you a sense of how I'm trading it here overall. I saw an opportunity for us to reverse on the 15 minute and the 3, oversold on the 1 hour, and possibly reversing here. No sense in waiting a whole lot longer underneath these lows of the day. I actually went out to around 5 delta on my short, and I put in a 20 wide for 40 cents. Did 8 contracts, took them off at 20 cents. So is it a huge winner? No, I'm not sizing these to be a ridiculous amount of money. But if you're looking at 8 contracts at a 20 cents winner, yeah, I made $160 while just doing nothing for the day. If you like the move, you can see that we've been moving significantly higher off of that. So markets are moving higher. We're back up above this pivot point, which was a previous support, and it did not really flip to become a resistance level. So it's pretty much a null and void level anymore. I don't really consider it. Once it's been broken once or twice up or down, doesn't really matter, doesn't really hold any water. So there's where we were. However, if you look at the overall trend, you're still, on the 1 hour.
He likes to be under the table when it feels like rain.
On the 15 minute, I gotta mute you guys.
I'll take an umbrella.
Okay, so we got the weather forecast as well. All right, so we're still in a downtrend until we get up here. We are breaking the 21 here, but that's still below the 50. So we're in this downtrend until further notice. So I'll keep an eye on this. There may be an opportunity here to then put on a call spread. However, if I was trading at the open with the direction down, I would have put on a call spread, which I did as well. So I also have a call spread working. That is my overall call spread for the day. And I saw the opportunity here to get a put spread on, which I've already closed out of. The call spread still working. Call spread's down a bit on the session as we moved up on this pretty nice move. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, I just wanted to share a little bit of a 0 DTE trading strategy with you. Is it perfect? Is it infallible? Absolutely not. Just keep your stops, understand where you are in the market, and you can see where we end up as we maybe move forward on the session. If we move any higher here, I'll probably close out the calls. So I'll probably wipe out my put spread winner. All right, let's quickly take a look at the overall market. We'll look at the weekly, daily charts in here. You get these on my nightly wrap up typically, but if we look at SPY, we pointed this out a bit earlier. And again, before I jump into my portfolio, I'm trying to get a sense of where the market is, where it's going, what it's doing, so that if I need to get out, we can. And we'll keep an eye on where things are going. But looking at the weekly charts here, overall direction is down. You've got a PSAR bullish or bearish trend going on with the dots above. You've got MACD dropping as well, and you've got RSI dropping, not below the 50 yet, but RSI is dropping. Not really a super bullish looking move on the weekly. And then when we zoom into the daily, we talked about it this morning a bit, but here's your left shoulder, here's your head, here's your right shoulder potentially forming. This neckline falls perfectly. I shouldn't say really the neckline, but this top of the shoulder neckline down here. But the top of the shoulder pretty much matches up to the left shoulder here, which was also a previous resistance level, turned into a support level. And then we'll see, do we bounce off of that level today? Maybe. We'll keep an eye on where we go. Do we just get a little bit of a relief bounce today? And then the neckline's down here, which also matches up to a previous pivot level here. So it's all perfectly nice and neat. We'll see what happens. Do we start to meander down? Do we break this neckline and then head lower down to potentially the 200 or something here? Right now, it is pretty much a bullish head or a bearish head and shoulders looking pattern. We'll just keep an eye on it to see where we go. But we broke the 21 EMA, and right now we're bouncing and holding the 50. So that's what I will be looking at here just to see where things go. All right. Anyway, that's SPY. The Qs, pretty much the same scenario here. Head and shoulders breaking down this morning through the 21, but holding it. So a little bit better looking on the Qs. And then IWM we looked at earlier. Pretty good head and shoulders pattern here as well on the daily. But right in the middle of this range, right in the middle of the Bollinger Bands, we've had a strangle on RTY on for the last 9 days, and it's up already 11%. We'll take a look at that. But if I was looking to do something, I kind of like strangles right now in IWM. Can we go further down? Sure, but you have to drop a pretty significant ways and still be in this channel. And I think if you're selling outside of this particular channel, and we can look at the RTY, which is where our trade is at, we can look at the same exact really channel area here. We'll draw something in here. It looks like this. And that doesn't have to be perfect, but just to get a sense of where we are in the market. So you have to drop down here under like 1650 or so for me to really start to get concerned. But we sold the 1500 down here, and then we also sold the 2200 up here. So we're well outside of this range, kind of like my odds there when we're dead in the middle of the Bollinger Bands, dead in the middle of this channel. I like RTY here. I think it's a good strangle opportunity. So if you are looking for strangles, that's one that I would look at. So if you're, some people are looking to add some new strangles here and there on some different underlyings that they have. For me, I think one of the better opportunities is RTY for a strangle. All right, and then VIX is up slightly today to 15. I don't know that anyone cares. Maybe some of you do. DXY, another up day. This thing has just had this massive run here. What is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and now 8 straight green weeks. That's pretty tough to beat on a rally up. Let's see if we get any kind of a pullback in here. I'm kind of hoping for one, but hope is not a trading strategy. but I'm not in the meantime, not I'm not changing my trading plans on anything that I have on that are affected by DXY. And then TLT just can't get out of its own way. Rates have been high. Rates may go higher. I think this is a good level to get in if you want to be long for the longer term haul, like a year out. I think this will be a good play. I just have not been in a rush to put this trade on, but I think TLT is a good play coming up soon. I think you could get into it now, but I'm not sure that the all clear has been sounded. And if you look at, again, my charts, I really pay a lot of attention to the MACD. You can see that this 21 was getting further from the 50, further from the 50, further. Now it's started to narrow its gap. So it means the strength of this down move on the daily is really running out of steam a bit. And it started here and really increased. And now it's starting to fall apart a bit. So we'll keep an eye on TLT, but I think maybe in this area is something to keep an eye on. All right. And then 6A, Aussie dollar, because of the strong dollar, this thing just has red moves written all over it. However, I like the fact that the MACD is dropping, meaning the acceleration of this down move may be slowing down, coming to an end. We'll see. But we're at the bottom of the Bollinger Band, which is a good spot. Bottom of a flat Bollinger Band is a good spot, I think, to maybe grab some support. We'll see. I'm not going to play it necessarily that way, but I think with tightening Bollinger Bands here, it's running out of velocity a bit on that trade. Would you put a 112 on 6A? Yeah, I think so. We have one, and we'll look at that one. That is up $350 or 70% in 10 days already. So we do have a 112 on 6A already rocking here, because I think you can't really beat that as an opportunity here. Can you go lower? Yeah, as the dollar strengthens, we can certainly go lower, but I think we are at a point where we're slowing down the selling. Doesn't mean the dollar won't go higher, but I like it there. British pound looking pretty much similar. I think you're breaking the Bollinger Bands here on a couple consecutive trading sessions. They're not flattening out. When we look at the Aussie dollar, Bollinger Band on the bottom here flattened out and started to contract a bit. Maybe it's opening back up. We'll see. But that's a good sign when it's starting to contract on the bottom level. When I look at the British pound, it is not. This Bollinger Band is no gray area here, still heading down and up here. So volatility is still expanding on 6B. So I'm staying away from 6B at this point. However, when volatility is expanding like this, and you're starting to get a sense of a strangle might be in the making here, because I like the fact that when volatility and velocity is good. Igor, yeah, good time to pick up Options Net Explorer. So it's a good time. With the British pound down, you get a better deal on your one subscription. Unfortunately, I'm already in at a higher price, but that's okay. But if you're not in, good time to do that. But when Bollinger Bands are opening up, I think strangles are a better opportunity. Volatility is increasing on 6B, and when I think what is 6B anyway right now? Got a massive IV of IVR of 6.8, but you're nearing the 200 EMA, and you're nearing this 3 ATR out here. But I think it's a good opportunity potentially to do something in 6B. But I want to see this Bollinger Band. For me, I want to see it start to flatten out. Okay, maybe that's too picky, too nitpicky, too much work. I don't know, but I'm in no hurry. I really don't have anything that I have to put on right now to begin with. All right, and then if we look at 6C, which is the Canadian dollar, this is also a nice area in here. The Bollinger Band started to contract a bit, and then it opened up a little bit more, still in a downtrend. But I think with it becoming oversold a bit, and hitting the bottom of the Bollinger Band here, and maybe the 3 ATR of the Hiltner channel. Is that starting to curve in? One day does not a trend make, but we'll keep an eye on it and we'll watch. We'll watch where that's going. Okay, so that's 6C, and then the dreaded 6E, which is the euro. This one's just still getting hammered as well, with the dollar being strong. Dollar's up 0.2% today. This is down 0.2%. Coincidence? I think not. All right, so we're looking at the weekly here. We have this pretty tight triangle building here. We broke to the downside this week. So you can see we broke this uptrend line, pretty much invalidates that line. So we can probably take that off the screen now. And now we'll look for horizontal lines, which would be potentially some support in here around 106, 1.06, which is also where the 3 average true range is on that. And if I'm looking at I want you guys to remember this for later. We have a strangle, and the strangle is down here at 1.05. Okay, and that's the bottom of the strangle is 1.05. 1.17 is the top, which you can't even see it on the screen anymore. But 1.17 would be up here. So when you're looking at this thing, obviously we are closer to the downside, but is it panicky time yet? It's getting down there, but it's not panicky time. We're not even at a 100% down or a 1x lost yet. So I'm not, nothing I'm doing here as we get closer to oversold territory. Look, you're close to oversold. If not, you dipped oversold on the daily, and you're getting close to the 3 ATR and this previous low. Maybe we find some help in there. We'll see. Again, hope is not a trading strategy, but let's see how it reacts. I think 60, this is the opportunity here to potentially put on a 112, because can it go lower? Yes, but the risk of the upside is probably greater at this point than a lot more downside. Doesn't mean we can't go down, but we'll see. And then oil has been on a pretty good run for weeks in a row now, and for the last 2 weeks alone, big move from 78 to 88. So 10 points is a pretty strong move on 78. It's like a 12.8, 13% gain over the last 2 weeks. In oil, this thing is doing fine for us. I mean, I'm not too worried about the strangles. We've layered some on, and then we have 112s in here, which is perfect for this if we get any kind of a pullback. But you're bouncing around the 3 ATR up here. So we're bouncing around the 3 ATR. That could be, and it's starting to tip over. That might, and on the weekly, you're at the top of the Bollinger Band. Doesn't mean you can't ride that for a while, but I think oil needs to take a little bit of a breather. We're very oversold on RSI. MACD is still strong, and we're still seeing some separation,